This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders, our great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so Brother Haran coming back at you with another lesson. Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, and I started out with Daniel, the 12th chapter, the first verse. All right, because, again, you have some type of controversy in Israel, okay, regarding Jacob's trouble. Okay, and, I have some information here, all right, that Lord willing, I'm going to get into real quick, all right, because I did, go into a few of it, all right, pertaining to, 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, all right, where it talks about, the coming troubles, okay, and so on and so forth. Because remember, these prophecies that we're reading about were visions that were given to certain men, specific men, all right, thousands of years ago, okay? And those visions were a prophecy of a time that we're entering into, okay? Now, understanding that it's a prophecy, meaning that it's something that was said before it happens, and it was seen before it happens, all right? These men who wrote these things down, all right, they wrote it in enough information with enough detail, all right, that we, the prophets of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, can look back at these details and pinpoint exactly what they were talking about. Okay. Now, in the case of the prophet Ezra, okay, when he went into 2nd Ezra, which we're gonna get, all right, it made sense because I was listening and watching the priest Amuan Gabar's video. Okay, going into a time like never before, Jacob's trouble. You got, IUIC and all these different people talking about, now they're switching it, but back then, a few years ago, they were saying that, well, ain't nothing happening, now things are happening that's leading to Jacob's trouble. But yet we've been coming out and warning about the same exact things that they were saying and calling conspiracy theories. Okay, those same so-called conspiracy theories, and us being so-called conspiracy nuts, everything that we said is coming to pass. Okay, and I have some information, like I said, that I'm going to get into. And this goes all the way back to 2010. Okay, this was all put together back in 2010. And now we're about to see exactly, all right, that time of trouble that we're talking about. All right, we're going to read a little bit of the details, okay, of what that's talking about. Because remember, the prophets saw this. Okay, they saw this. All right. So let me get this quick precept, and then we're going to jump to 2nd Ezra, and then we're going to go from there. Okay. So we're coming into a time, like the scripture says, a time like never before. And that's why the Lord has sent his men, all right, to give that warning. Okay. It might sound like a broken record. Okay. Beating a dead horse. But, it's important that we warn our people of the times that we're coming in, man. We have to do this. Okay. We have to do this. All right. This is the book of Jeremiah. Chapter 30, okay, in verse 5, it says, I'm gonna start off at 4. It says, and these are the words that the Lord Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. Okay, the two kingdoms that come up together to form the nation of Israel, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, not just so-called Jewish people, which they're not part of the 12 tribes of Israel either way. All right, they're Edomites. Their line goes back to the Edomites. Okay, so-called Jewish people. All right, the Amalekites today go back to the Edomites. Okay, so they're Edomites. They're not Israelites. All right, so them calling themselves so-called Jews. All right, that's an identity that's been stolen. You know what I'm saying? That they just took upon themselves, but that's not who they are because this doesn't fit them. All right, it says, because remember the trouble that's coming, they are the perpetrators of that trouble. So how the hell can you be the one causing the problems and being, the victim at the same time? It doesn't work that way. Okay. It says, verse 5, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Okay? Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Verse 7, this is the key. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay, and the he is talking about the elect, okay, of the nation of Israel, who are going to come out of the troubles that we're all going to face. All right, it's not just going to be, oh, the righteous are not going to face no tribulation. No. The tribulation is coming. All right, but the righteous are going to be delivered from that tribulation, meaning we're all going to go through it. But if you're of the elect, you're going to be protected. It doesn't mean that you're going to be excluded, all right, from the times that we're coming in, because look what's going on. For the past 2 years, if you're of the elect or not, you've been facing all the troubles. But if you're of the elect, the Lord has made it where, you know, it's been more of a lenient, all right, a time that we're in. But for some, it's been quite painful. It's been quite treacherous. The past 2 years has been tough. You have a lot of people who have died, and even so-called Nate, he mentioned it. You know, I believe one of the videos that the brothers posted, he was saying it, that I believe it was the elder brother Yashawamba. All right, that's where I remember seeing it. All right, he was saying that, you know, just in their church alone, in their camp alone, all right, over 20 brothers and sisters had died. All right, off of this so-called demic. All right, now we don't know if it was result of the demic itself, like they saying, or it was because of that thing. All right, because he was advocating that, you know, you just go ahead and take it. You know, so hey, who knows, man? Who knows? But you know, the point is, we're entering into some times that is going to affect everyone. But that's why we pray that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua have mercy on us, because what I'm about to get into, all right, is all talking about the times of trouble. It's the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, so let's get that real quick in 2nd Ezra. It says, it's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16. I'm gonna start off at 68. It says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, right? Take away certain of you and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols. Okay, and things offered unto idols really is going into that biometrics. Okay, it's not necessarily just the food that they're going to be feeding you, because it's all going to be, we know, you know, GMOs, synthetic, you know, baby food, baby fetus mixed in there, you know, all kinds of abominations, you know, because they know, okay, that Jake, this is all going to really target Jake, you know, and they know that Jake is susceptible to certain types of, sins that Esau is going to perpetrate and put on Jake to force them to commit those sins. Okay, but we know that the ultimate sin, all right, is taking that MOTB. Okay, that's the thing that's going to be offered unto idols. Now, with that being said, we know that Yahushua, all right, told us, all right, in the book of Revelation, all right, the 2nd chapter, the 10th verse. Okay, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. Okay, so your faith is going to be tried, but also you're going to be put on trial. Okay, for what they're going to call treason, all right, and all kinds of false accusations that they're going to put upon the men of the Lord, and pretty much those who speak the truth and come against this satanic so-called new world order that they're trying to build. Okay, a godless society that they want to put here on this earth. And you can see and hear, all right, the man of sin speaking. Okay, talking about gone are the days where, you know, there's a God in heaven that calls the shots and he has all the power and so on and so forth. Now they want to be gods on earth. Okay, like it tells you in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. Okay, going into the man of sin being revealed. Okay, the man of sin, all right, that opposeth and exalteth himself, all right, against all that is called God. Okay, so that's the devil. The Bible, the devil that the Bible speaks of is who we're dealing with today. All right, masquerading as so-called central bankers, all right, World Economic Forum leaders and so on and so forth, presidents and so on and so forth, man. All right, these are the devils that the Bible speaks of, and they're all Edomites. It says, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days, meaning a time of a period, all right, a period of time. Okay, it says, be thou faithful unto death, meaning what? Endure. Okay, and these devils actually in their plans, they actually have when they keep you captive, there's going to be a time called the enduring stage. It's crazy. All right, but they have that. They got the initial stage, and then they got the stage of endurance. All right. So it says, "What be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give thee a crown of life." Okay. So now we're about to enter into that time of temptation, the time of trouble. Okay, that will bring about, okay, people's demise. Whether you're the elect, you get delivered, or if you're not, you get destroyed. Okay. Now, the scriptures talk about some being taken. Okay, let's bring that back in 2nd Ezra real quick, because that's what we're about to read. Okay, so it says what? 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 68. It says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols." Okay, so that "take away certain of you" is what we're going to highlight right now. Okay. So upon being taken away, all right, we know where you're going to end up at. You're going to end up in a concentration camp, or so-called Fema camp. Okay. And this is how they're going to do it. It says here, visitation. So if somebody wants to come and visit, all right, whoever it is that's been, captured and put into these camps, all right, it says here, detainee visitations are a deliberate operation, resource intensive, and a significant IO builder. It says the detention facility commander may grant visitation privileges depending upon the detainee's conduct and disposition while in detention. So if you're in bad behavior, you're not going to be granted permission to be visited. But if you do exactly as they say, you're being a good old quiet slave and doing what you're supposed to do, then you're going to be granted access, okay, and what they call visitation privileges. All right. Oh, this devil, man. It says visitation must be formally requested and scheduled with the fixed facility detainee visitation office by the person or persons wishing to visit with a detainee. Scheduled visitation is based on the number of visitations that may be accommodated for a specific visitation day. Okay. Visitors requesting to visit with a detainee must provide or obtain their own transportation to the fixed facility on the specific day that a visitation is scheduled. Visitation staff and guard forces must know in advance who was scheduled for visitation, and security measures must be put in place. Okay, so it's not just going to be I see a building that's fenced all around and I just want to go in there and see what's in it. No, these places are, high tech, highly, extremely beefed up with security. You got security cameras, you got, these security goons out there, robot dogs left and right. I mean, we're talking high level, military camps, man. It says visitations take place within the site and require the following security measures before visitors can be granted access. Okay, that's the key, access. All right. 1, it says visitors are only allowed to arrive and request permission to enter through a specific gate. Okay, you can't just come in any old way. You got to go through a specific gate, right? Just like being in this truth, just like being in this truth. Yahweh Shemel Shah requires, all right, everyone to walk into a specific gate. All right, the scriptures talk about walking that straight gate, So we are required to go through a straight gate. And that's what, if Esau could do that, how much more the Heavenly Father, right? So it says they're gonna go through a specific gate. They must check in with the U.S. guards manning the visitation security gate access point. It says guard forces must verify that personnel requesting visitation are scheduled and that they provide a legitimate form of identification before access is granted. Now, with all the things that's happening, everything that's building right now that we can see, all right, pertain to the 13th chapter of Revelation, we know that identification is a very big thing, all right, of bringing about that MOTB. So if these devils are talking about a legitimate form of identification, That means they're not talking about your driver's license. All right, they're not talking about your working certification card, whatever. Your oh, my credit, my debit. No, they're gonna be doing biometrics. Okay, and the biometrics is not going to last another decade of them just scanning irises and scanning fingerprints. No, they've been doing that already, preparing you, all right, for that identification that's going to be underneath your skin, because that's what they're saying. All right, that's what they're saying. That's going to be the new norm. Just like identifying yourself now, you need to have your ID on you. In the very near future, we're talking months from now, identifying yourself, you're going to be required to have an implantable device in you. Okay, and that is how you're going to identify yourself, which will grant you access to what? To the economy, to buying and selling, and so on and so forth. Because if you're not identifiable, you're non-existent in this new system that's being created. Right? So identification is very, very key. All right, into knowing exactly what that MOTB is actually all about. Hence, we had V passports. That is a form of identification based on your actions. Did you take the thing or not? Right? So it says a legitimate form of identification before access is granted. Upon verification of identity and scheduled visitation for that particular day. Salaki, 1 second. All right. It says upon verification of identity and scheduled visitation for that particular day, visitors move to the visitor holding area that immediately follows the visitor access point. Right? Once inside the facility, meaning the concentration camp, the Fema camp, all right, the visitor's identification is checked a second time by the visitation staff. So there's not going to be for you to be delivered. If you end up in a place like this, it has to be divine. It has to be divine, because they're locking everything down. How you gonna get past the first security people that checked your identity, and you got to go past another staff, right? And as we read, I'm gonna show you something. All right, because these devils, all these things that they're doing, it goes back to the plantation. It goes back to the slave ships. Okay, on how Jake was being rebellious. That's how you know this is all planned to use against Jake. Okay, it says visitation staff members use interpreters to explain visitation procedures to visitors. Visitors are required to submit to physical searches and biometrics enrollment. You hear that? Biometrics enrollment using the biometrics automated tool set before they are allowed to move to the next phase of visitation process. So if you come in to go see a so-called loved one that's been captured by these devils, all right, and you're looking for some type of access or permission, you're going to have to take that thing, right? It says enrollment using the biometrics automated tool set. It says if a visitor refuses to be searched or fails biometrics enrollment / verification, the visitor should be authorized to visit the detainee. Should not be authorized to visit the detainee and should be escorted off the compound by security personnel. Now here's a kicker. It says additionally, if a visitor refuses to complete in-processing requirements, right? We've heard requirements and, those kind of words already. The past 2 years, we've been hearing requirements and it's required and this and that, recommendations and so on and so forth, right? It says requirements, the visitation staff records it. So if you come up there and you say, no, you know what? I'm not comfortable with this new style of identifying each other and all that. If you don't want to take my ID card that looks just like me as I'm standing right here, which is something you would have taken 2-3 months ago, now all of a sudden it's obsolete. My driver's license used to work perfectly fine. Now it's obsolete. Okay, if you're not going to take that, then I'm not with this. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to leave. Guess what's going to happen? They have to record it. And now you know what that means? That means that they have your information down on file, and they're going to come after you very soon. They're going to come see you. Right? They're going to come see you. So let's continue. It says, once biometrics enrollment and verification is complete, visitors are seated in a lobby and provided a visitor orientation. All right. when detainees and these detainees are not people that are gonna be just bugging the hell out. No, the people that are bugging the hell out, they're gonna just shoot them down or just get rid of them. These are those who stand firm against the system, just like Ezra saw. Okay. It says once biometrics enrollment and verification is complete, visitors are seated in a lobby and provided a visitor orientation. When detainees are removed from fixed facility compounds, detainee ISNs are verified by the compound guard commander, and the detainee's ISN is entered into the detainee management system. Okay? So an ISN is basically like a social security number, like your code that makes you different from everybody else, but at the same time, the same like everybody else, because everybody has this device in them. So it makes everyone the same, but the devices all have some type of unique code that differentiates from person A and person B, right? So they know exactly who's doing what. It says, as detainees are removed from compounds, they are secured and then escorted to the bus that transports them to the visitation area. Sure. Separate bus or truck guards are used to control the detainees after they are placed on vehicles. Why is that? Because they don't, like I said, going back to slavery, when you have some type of familiarity, all right, that breeds rebelliousness. In a time of oppression, when you find somebody who's being oppressed and they start to have some type of common grounds with somebody who's doing the oppression, okay, what happens is that the oppressor starts to be lenient. They start to, look out. And if they do look out, they have the inside scoop. They have the inside secrets. All right, they could potentially, all right, help or break down the security barrier from within. You see, so they always do this where they put separate bus or truck guards, so you don't know who. They do that with the police now. If you let's say you're a police officer from New York, a specific part of New York, let's just say from the Bronx, all right, and you become a police officer, they'll put you in some place like Queens or Yonkers or some shit like that, right, where you're not around the people that you grew up with, and that's all strategically done. They don't want Jake coming around each other or coming together. Okay. So it says separate bus or truck guards are used to control the detainees after they are placed on vehicles. When all detainees are on buses or trucks, they are transported to the visitation area under escort. Escorts are used to prevent detainees from talking. Talking to or intimidating each other, coordinating or planning any subversive action against guard forces, right? And that goes back to the plantation, and that also goes back to the slave ships. Okay, Jake used to, want to rebel, and they know that. Why do you think they got this in here? Because this is all to go against Jake. All right, that's why it's called Jacob's Trouble. Okay, so don't believe these guys, these phony ass guys, because look, when this happens and your ass end up in a place like this, you're gonna wish you listened. So you know exactly what to do. Okay? And the last video I did, they said that they're going to do something that's going to ban praying. Now, if a devil's planning something, he's saying make sure that people are not praying, what do you think that's all about? Who on this earth is always praying automatically whenever they go through some shit, whether they know it or not? No other nation does that but you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, man. In a time of panic, what do you guys do? You automatically call upon God and Jesus Christ, which are not the right names, right? But it's instinctive that you do that. See? And that's not what they want, especially with this truth coming out with this Israelite thing. You know how powerful Jake is going to be calling upon the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai if they're of the elect? Do you know what that is? Hey, these devils know the history, so they're planning everything according to that. So they don't leave any stone unturned. But guess what? This is divine. Okay, Yahushua himself said he's going to deliver us, man. So what are you going to do? You're going to hold back his prisoners so when he comes back, he doesn't see us? Come on, bro. We don't belong to you, Esau. Remember, you belong to us. Don't get it twisted. It says, at the visitation area, guards remove detainees from buses. Oh, we read that already. It says, when all detainees... Oh, no, we read that. Right here. It says at the visitation area, guards remove detainees from buses and escort them to a secure holding area out of sight of visitors, right? So they don't know exactly, where they went, how they got here. All they know is, boom, you're here. So they can't track shit, right? When all detainees are in the secure compound and an accurate head count of detainees is complete, they are searched a second time by guard forces who are conducting the escort. Detainees are left in the secure holding area under guard until removed and escorted to the building where the visitation takes place. Guards escort all detainees receiving visitations in the same building at the same time. And guess what, brothers? Don't fret, because this is the Lord. The Lord got everything calculated in our favor. All right, you probably gonna be sitting in one of these concentration camps, thinking, Lord, how am I gonna get out of this? And the next thing you know, they say, hey, you got a visitor, and then a visitor comes up that you've never met in your life. You don't know who this man or woman could be, but it's most likely gonna be a man, because that's how the Lord works, right? And then they pull up, and the moment you see them, something sparks in your spirit, like, yo, that's an angel. That's an angel. Oh my God, that's an angel. You see? But you're going to play it cool, like, yo, who's this guy, whatever, and next thing you know, you out of there. You out of there, and these devils are tripping, bucket. Oh, what happened? How did he get, Just like it tells you in the book of Acts, when Herod, I believe Acts the 12th chapter, all right, when Herod had, he was seeking to vex the Christians, all right, the Jews, all right, so he laid his hand on James, all right, the brother of John. He killed him, right, and then he proceeded to go and attack Peter, So he got Peter, arrested Peter, okay, and put him in jail. I believe it says with 4 quaternions, okay. So he had I believe it was four soldiers or something, like 40 or 4. I don't remember exactly. All right, what a quaternion is. As a matter of fact, why don't we just look it up? All right, just to give you an idea, okay, of how that scenario could play out. Imagine being in a situation like that. You got to have faith, right? You got to have faith. So let's get it real quick. This is the book of Acts chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. Okay, so he laid his hand on an anointed man. All right, so you already know what's going to happen. Whoever Herod is, that Herod, whoever he is, he got big time payment. All right, he going to pay big time. It says, and because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Okay, then were the days of unleavened bread, all right, which was during the Passover. Okay, it says, and when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison, right, and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. Okay, so let's go into that word, look it up real quick, quaternions. All right, let's see. It says here, a quaternion. There's one thing I don't like about these though. They use the same word to try to describe the word you're looking for. Let's see here. All right, let's use the online etymology dictionary, quaternion. Quaternary. It says here, consisting of 4 parts. Okay, quart, quattro, whatever you call it, but that means 4. All right, quart is 4. So yeah, I was trying to make sure if it was 40 or 4, but it's 4. Okay, 4 quaternions. So 4 soldiers, okay, to make sure that he doesn't, escape. All right, he doesn't escape. So that was the point. So imagine being in a place like that. All right, and then the Lord comes in and delivers you, man. That's what we're expecting, right? We expect that deliverance, all right, from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, because we believe on him and we're going to keep on calling upon his name. Okay, that's the faith that we have. All right, so it says here, detainees are left in the secure holding area under guard until removed and escorted to the building where the visitation takes place. Guards escort all detainees receiving visitations in the same building at the same time. And this is all going to be happening very soon. Okay? Generally, Only 8 to 10 detainees are allowed to conduct visitations in the same building at a time. 3 visitation buildings are used at a time for visitations. The guard to detainee coverage is mission. It says the guard to detainee coverage is mission variable dependent, but averages 1 guard to every 6 detainees. HN corrections officers assist in guarding and observing visitations in each individual visitation building. Detainees are escorted into the visitation building and seated by position on the visitation roster. Yo, wow. It says once seated and briefed on visitation rules, guards escort the visitors and position them across from the visited detainee. Okay? The visitation building is split down the middle by a wall with open window cutouts to allow visitors and detainees to sit across from and maintain view of one another. So you don't even get to, get close enough or nothing. All right. It says during the visitation session, visitors are not allowed to have any personal contact with the detainee or pass anything through the window without the expressed consent of the guards. Any detainee caught attempting to have physical contact or take something from a visitor without proper consent is immediately removed from the visitation site, searched, and escorted back to their holding area. Okay? See that? It says visitations normally last between 1 and 2 hours depending on the number of visitations scheduled. While detainees are conducting visitations, guard forces strictly monitor visitation events and conversations, so they're listening and watching everything that you're saying, right? Guards and interpreters should observe detainee or visitor verbal and nonverbal actions. Additionally, guards should look for gestures that may be used as codes or actions that may be symbolic of some sort of clandestine communications method. Now, this right here, like I said, is because of the past history that they've had with Jake. Okay? They know how Jake get down. Jake, going back to the name Jacob, supplanter. Okay? Yaikwab, supplanter, man. So Esau knows. He knows. That's why he's going all in. Okay? That's why he's going all in, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it. They pretty much covering all bases. All right? And this is what Jacob's trouble will also entail. Besides the chaos that's going to ensue very soon, you got famines, coming very soon. I mean, it's already here, but it's going to be intensified. Where you're going to start seeing people get real lean without actually working out. They're going to lose a whole lot of weight. A lot of fat people going to lose a whole hell of a lot of weight. Okay, and just try not to be around those people because you might get eaten. All right. Yeah, man, this is the times that we're coming in, and we've been warning about it. Okay, but just like in the time of Rome, all right, they looking to what? To take away the men who are what? Raising up what they call hell, all right, causing people to go against the grain, if you will, and that's all just people waking up to the truth. That's all it is. Okay, but let's finish off with Acts the 12th chapter. Okay, and then I'm gonna close it out. Okay, so because remember, we read these things pertaining to Romans 15 and 4, right? That we through patience of the scriptures, where we through hope, all right, and patience of the scriptures might have hope. Okay? We through patience of the scriptures might have hope, man. Romans 15 and 4, that everything that's written aforetime was written for our learning. Okay? So we're reading about what happened to the Apostle Peter, okay? And that should inspire us and keep us in that spirit, okay? That, Lord, you're here with us and you've promised us. All right, Joshua 1 and 9 tells us that. So, we're going to go based on that promise. All right, like it tells you in Revelation 3 and 10. Okay, and we're going to be good. We're going to be just fine. Okay, don't fear any of these devils and what they got going on. All right, we know what the inner workings of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is all about. And very soon the Lord is going to give his elect some very powerful things, man. Spiritual powers is coming. Okay, so believe that. All right, believe that. There's a book of Acts chapter 12 verse 5. It says, Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto the Most High for him. See? So that's one thing they don't want, is that prayer, man. Prayer. And they have it in their documents that they're going to muzzle you, so it avoids you from communicating or from praying, from chanting, and so on and so forth, right? No Kwam Yasharala, no Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, none of that. They don't want you, none of that, okay? It says, and when Herod would have brought him forth, the same night Peter was sleeping between two soldiers, bound with two chains, and the keepers before the door kept the prison. So just like we read, is high-tech, crazy-ass technology for security, right? But let's read what happened. It says, and behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison. And he smote Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, arise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hands. And the angel said unto him, gird thyself, and bind on thy sandals, or bind on thy sandals. You put them on. And he said, and it says, and so he did. And he saith unto him, cast thy garment about thee, and follow me. You put it on, and let's go. And he went out and followed him, and wist not that it was true, which was done by, it says, and wist not that it was true, which was done by the angel, but thought he saw a vision. When they were past the first and second ward, they came unto the iron gate that leadeth unto the city, which opened to them, as it says, opened to them of his own accord, right? And they went out and passed on through one street, and forthwith the angel departed from him, right? And when Peter was come to himself, he said, so now he came to his reality. He finally woke up. He's like, yo, what the fuck? That was not a vision. That was not a dream. He said, now I know of a surety that the Lord hath sent his angel and hath delivered me out of the hand of Herod and from all the expectation of the people of the Jews. Okay? And that's the same exact thing, all right, that we're going to be going through. And we're going to bank on this, all right, this faith, okay, this example that the Apostle Peter set, okay, and how the Lord delivered him. We're going to be in that same spirit, okay? We're going to be in that same spirit, man. So I'm going to leave it off there, Lord, when you've been edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash, the water Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And until next time, Shalom.